So Windows 10 has brought about a few changes related to the Windows 8 tile menu. View another video here on how to get this full-size video back. I think it's something like Windows 10 8, my Windows 8 menu. But here, just go ahead and click on the Windows button here, and we've already set it up so that it will go full screen again. So this is very similar to Windows 8. The only difference is, of course, we see the background. This is our desktop back here, by the way, behind us. The other difference is that in Windows 8, we used to go left to right, right? We used to be able to swipe horizontally. Now it's back to a vertical roll. So I'm using the roll button on my mouse to go up and down. Of course, I could use this to move around as well. So let's talk a little bit about some of the differences in the way that they've kind of laid out some of these menu tiles. We're used to in Windows 8 being able to right click and put a check mark next to multiple items that we may not want on our desktop anymore, on our Windows 8 tiles. We can go ahead and simply do a right click and say unpin from start. We can resize this or turn off live tile. And I'm going to just select to unpin this from my start menu. So that's pretty simple. Let's say that we want to expand, let's say the weather here. We want to expand it to be large. We just do a right click on there and click on large. And now my weather is the largest thing on there. Let's say that I want to move these tiles around. I just drag and drop them like I did in Windows 8. And I can move the tiles around as needed. One of the changes is how do you create a new group here? So a new group is the same as it was before, but it may be a little confusing. Let's start easy by we've created this group here that I call productivity, and I'm just going to drag a couple more things in there. I'm going to put Evernote over there, for example, and toggle for my time. All right, now it's created a different group, so I want to make sure it's in the same group. So did you see how I did that? It looks the same, but do you see that blue bar that's coming up? That means it's now a new group. And see how I move the mouse up? It says name group. So that's a new group. So different than in Windows 8, where you had all of your groups going across the top. Now I have groups that are taking up my screen this way as well. So I need to be somewhat aware of that. So to get rid of that, I just go up again. Do you see how it just disappears in the background? So let's do that one more time. All right. So here I click and do you see where it says name group there? And as soon as I move up, that goes away. Once I do that, do you see the distance here is very thin, right? Whereas the distance is thick here. Okay, hopefully I got that point across. And notice here that I can move them in different locations now and have them set up differently, where in Windows 8, it used to be you set it up and it automatically kind of filled in. There'd be no empty space here, for example. Now you can set it up anyway, so I can make it look like an eye if I want to on my desktop. Now to create a new group is pretty simple. I see all of my things over here. So let's say that I want to do one for entertainment and it's way down here, Plex. So I'm going to grab Plex. I'm going to drop them over here to the left and notice here that Plex is now there, sitting there. So I can do that for any of these that I want. Let's find another one that's more related. There you go, Netflix, Hulu. I'm just kind of dropping them in place. And you see how they're lining up as different groups? That's no problem. I'm just going to go ahead and take this and pop it in just like this and like this. And now I've got that, right? Now I've got some holes in here. So I'm going to go ahead and just move some things around to kind of fill in some of those holes. Maybe something like that. Maybe move dragon over. All right, and move tasks over. Okay, so here I've got everything, and I'm going to rename this group just by clicking on it. I'm going to type in productivity. Okay, so, and then here I'm going to type in entertainment. Okay, so now I've got those groups. Now this one is still open, right? So I'm going to go through over time and move all of these things over. There's another entertainment one. So the Plex server. Oops, daisy. And I'm going to go back again and pop that bad boy up. Okay. Also, one thing, notice it's in between. I can do those as well. So I can move it to the side, or in between. So that's kind of cool. Okay, so that's how that menu system works. Now this menu system is kind of important because if we view Windows without, let's see what this looks like when we're viewing it without the Windows 8 menu. So to do that, we're going to go ahead and type in settings here, and we're going to click on settings. We're going to go to personalization. See another video. I know I'm going fast. Start. I'm going to say don't use full screen. I'm going to close that. And now I'm going to click on my menu button. And now notice that I see all of the things as I organize. Productivity, right? And this is the generic, and entertainment's down here. Now I can move this up to where I want it here inside, right? Productivity. Or I can take, let me see if there's entertainment here. I can grab a hold of this guy and I can just move him up to wherever I want him as well. So I can adjust this menu, right? This is the new Windows 10 menu. I can adjust this the same way that I adjusted it in Windows 8. Just looks a little bit differently, right? But I mean, looks a little different, but it's pretty much the same thing, right? So again, I'm just holding down on my left mouse button and pressing down and holding while I move that. Another thing you can do with the menuing here is I can move this bad boy out so that he looks a lot like the full Windows 8 desktop, but it's a little bit different, right? So again, put that away, come back, and here it is right here. So it's really going to be kind of your preference on how you want to organize your desktop, but two ways that you can do it, either full Windows or Windows 10 with this kind of abbreviated Windows 8 menu built into it. And again, let me just go back real quick and change this back to where it's full screen, personalization, start, full screen, close, and notice now I'm going to click on it and it's going to be full screen again.